When does your body actually start burning fat during intermittent fasting? Some people say 12 hours, others say 16, and some claim you need to fast for 24 hours or even longer before your body touches its fat stores. But what does science actually tell us? The truth is, the answer isn't as simple as a single number. It depends on your body, what you ate before fasting, and how you live your daily life. Today, we're going to walk through every stage of fasting from the very first hour all the way to 24 hours and beyond. I'll explain exactly what's happening inside your body at each point so you understand precisely when fat burning truly begins and how you can optimize your fasting for better results. Before we dive in, please remember that this is educational content, not medical advice. If you have any health conditions or concerns, talk to your doctor before starting any fasting routine. Now let's start with the basics. Your body runs on two main fuel sources, glucose and fat. Glucose is a simple sugar that comes from the carbohydrates you eat. When you have a meal with bread, rice, pasta, fruits, or anything with sugar, your body breaks it down into glucose. This glucose enters your bloodstream and becomes available for your cells to use as energy. Your body prefers to use glucose first. Why? Because glucose is quick and easy to convert into energy. It's the fast fuel. Your brain especially loves glucose and uses about 120 grams of it every single day. Here's something interesting. At any given moment, you only have about 4 to 5 grams of glucose floating in your blood. That's roughly 1 teaspoon of sugar. It's a very small amount, yet your body works extremely hard to keep it stable. If blood glucose drops too low, you feel weak, shaky, and confused. If it rises too high, it can damage your blood vessels and organs over time. So what happens when you eat more carbohydrates than you need right away? Your body doesn't waste it. Instead, it stores the extra glucose in your liver and muscles as something called glycogen. Think of glycogen as your body's short-term energy storage. Your liver can hold about 100 grams of glycogen and your muscles can store around 400 grams. This glycogen reserve is incredibly important. When you stop eating, your body first turns to this stored glycogen to maintain your blood sugar levels. Only after this reserve starts running low does your body begin looking for another fuel source. And that other fuel source is fat. Fat is your body's long-term energy storage. An average person carries somewhere between 50,000 to 100,000 calories worth of energy stored as body fat. That's an enormous reserve, enough to fuel your body for weeks or even months. But here's the catch. Your body won't tap into this fat storage until it has used up most of the glucose and glycogen first. This is why many people struggle to lose fat even when eating less. If they never reach the point where their body needs to use fat, the fat simply stays where it is, untouched. Now there's another crucial piece to this puzzle, and it's called insulin. Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas every time you eat. Its main job is to help move glucose from your blood into your cells, where it can be used for energy or stored for later. Here's the key point. When insulin levels are high, your body is in storage mode. It's focused on using and storing glucose, not burning fat. In fact, insulin sends a clear signal to your fat cells: hold on to the fat, we have enough energy coming in. As long as insulin remains elevated, your fat cells keep their doors locked. The fat stays inside no matter how much you want it gone. Only when insulin drops do your fat cells receive permission to release their stored energy. This is why eating frequently throughout the day, even if you're eating small amounts or so-called healthy snacks, can keep insulin elevated and prevent fat burning from ever truly starting. When you fast, you stop eating and your insulin levels begin to fall. After several hours without food, insulin drops to low levels. This is when your body starts getting the signal that it's okay to access fat stores. If you have insulin resistance, which is common in people who are overweight or have been eating a high-carb diet for years, your insulin levels may stay elevated longer. This means it takes more time for your body to switch to fat burning. But don't worry, this can improve with consistent fasting practice. A quick note here. If you have type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes and take insulin medication, please work with your doctor before attempting any fasting protocol. Managing insulin and fasting together requires careful medical supervision. So now that you understand the basics, let's walk through what actually happens, hour by hour, when you fast. During the first 4 hours after your last meal, your body is busy digesting. The food you ate is being broken down in your stomach and intestines, and glucose is flooding into your bloodstream. Insulin levels are high because your body needs to process all this incoming energy. During this phase, you're definitely not burning fat. Your body has plenty of glucose available, so it has no reason to look elsewhere for fuel. You might feel full satisfied and energized, or you might feel a bit sleepy if you ate a large meal heavy in carbohydrates. This post-meal drowsiness happens because blood flow shifts toward your digestive system and away from other areas. From hour 4 to hour 8, digestion is mostly complete. Your blood glucose levels start returning to normal and insulin begins to drop. Your body now turns to its glycogen reserves in the liver to maintain stable blood sugar. You might start feeling slightly hungry during this time. This is normal. Your stomach is empty and your body is sending signals asking for more food. But your energy is still stable because glycogen is providing a steady supply of glucose. At this stage, fat burning is starting in small amounts, but it's not significant yet. Your body is still primarily relying on glycogen. You're in a transitional state. Between hour 8 and hour 12, things start to shift more noticeably. Insulin continues to fall and reaches lower levels than it's been all day. Your liver glycogen is being used up steadily and may have dropped by half or more. Your body is now recognizing that glucose supplies are getting low. It begins increasing a process called lipolysis. This is simply the process of breaking down stored fat. During lipolysis, your fat cells release their contents, which include fatty acids and glycerol, into your bloodstream. These fatty acids can then travel to your muscles and other tissues to be used as fuel. You'll likely feel genuinely hungry during this window. This is often the hardest part for people new to fasting. The temptation to eat is strong, and your brain may tell you that you need food urgently. Many people give up around this point. But here's what's actually happening. Your body isn't in danger. It's simply not used to going this long without food. The hunger you feel is partly habit, partly hormones. If you push through, something interesting starts to happen. From hour 12 to hour 18, you enter what scientists call the metabolic switch. This is a term coined by Dr. Mark Mattson, a neuroscientist who spent decades studying fasting at the National Institute on Aging. His landmark research, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, describes this transition point, where your body shifts from using glucose as its primary fuel to using fat. During this phase, your liver glycogen is running very low. Your body ramps up fat burning significantly. Your liver starts converting fatty acids into molecules called ketones. Ketones are an alternative fuel that your body and brain can use efficiently when glucose is scarce. Here's something that surprises many people. Around this time, hunger often begins to fade. You would expect to feel more hungry as time goes on, but the opposite frequently happens. As ketones rise in your blood, they provide steady energy to your brain without the fluctuations that come from glucose. Many people report feeling clearer, more focused, and calmer during this phase. Some describe it as mental clarity they've never experienced before. This is also when your growth hormone levels start to rise significantly. We'll talk more about why this matters in a moment. Quick question for you. What's your usual fasting window? Drop a number in the comments. I'm curious how many of you might be right on the edge of this metabolic switch without even realizing it. Now let's continue to hours 18 through 24. This is when you're truly in fat burning mode. By this point, your body has fully transitioned to using fat as its primary fuel source. Ketone levels in your blood rise to measurable levels, typically between zero point 0.5 and 2.0 millimoles per liter. Your insulin is at baseline very low levels. The pathway for fat release is wide open. Growth hormone, which we mentioned earlier, surges dramatically during this window. Studies show that during a 24-hour fast, growth hormone can increase by 300 to 500% compared to normal levels. Some research has documented even higher increases, up to 300% in women and 2000% in men during extended fasts. What does growth hormone do? It helps preserve muscle mass and encourages your body to burn fat for fuel. This is crucial because it means fasting doesn't automatically lead to muscle loss. Your body has a built-in system to protect your muscles while accessing your fat stores. Many people feel surprisingly good during this phase. Energy becomes more stable without the ups and downs that come from eating sugar and processed carbohydrates. Mental clarity improves. Hunger may come in waves, but it's often manageable and passes quickly. This is the fat-burning zone that so many people are looking for. For those who continue fasting beyond 24 hours, the body goes even deeper into ketosis. Your brain can eventually derive up to 75% of its energy from ketones. A process called autophagy also begins to activate more strongly. Autophagy is your body's way of cleaning up damaged cells and recycling their components. It's like a deep cleaning system for your cells. This is one of the reasons extended fasting has been linked to longevity and cellular health in scientific research. However, fasting beyond 24 hours requires more caution. If you're considering longer fasts, it's wise to do your research, ensure proper hydration and electrolytes, and potentially seek guidance from a healthcare professional. Now, here's an important point. The timeline I just described isn't identical for everyone. Several factors influence how quickly your body switches to fat burning. First, what you eat before fasting matters enormously. If your last meal was heavy in carbohydrates and sugars, your glycogen stores will be completely full. This means it takes longer for your body to deplete them and switch to burning fat. You might not enter the metabolic switch until hour 18 or later. On the other hand, if you eat fewer carbohydrates and more protein and healthy fats, your glycogen stores won't be as full. Your body can transition to fat burning faster sometimes by several hours. This is why people who follow low-carb diets often find fasting easier. Their bodies are already accustomed to using fat for fuel, so the transition feels natural. Second, your physical activity level plays a role. Exercise uses up glycogen. A moderate workout can deplete your glycogen stores faster and push your body into fat-burning mode hours earlier than it would otherwise. Even a long walk can help. However, don't overdo intense exercise when you're new to fasting. Your body needs time to adapt to using fat for fuel during physical activity. Third, your metabolic health affects the timeline. People with insulin resistance, which is common in those who are overweight or have metabolic syndrome, may take longer to shift into fat burning. Their insulin levels stay elevated longer, keeping fat cells locked. The good news is that practicing intermittent fasting regularly can improve insulin sensitivity over time. So even if the switch takes longer for you at first, it often becomes easier and faster as your metabolism adapts over weeks and months. Finally, individual differences simply exist. Some people transition to fat burning after 12 hours, others need 18 or 20 hours, or even longer. Don't compare yourself to others. Pay attention to your own body's signals and how you feel. Let's talk more about something many people worry about: losing muscle during fasting. This concern makes sense. If the body is breaking down stored energy for fuel, couldn't it break down muscle too? The answer is that your body is smarter than you might think. It has a built-in protection system for muscle tissue during fasting, and it's incredibly effective. When you fast, your body dramatically increases production of growth hormone. As I mentioned earlier, this hormone can surge by several 100% during a 24-hour fast. Growth hormone sends a powerful signal to your body: burn fat for fuel, but protect the muscles. Leave the muscle tissue alone. Research from the Mayo Clinic has shown that growth hormone during fasting can reduce muscle protein breakdown by up to 50%. Your body actively works to preserve muscle while accessing fat stores. This makes perfect sense from an evolutionary perspective. Our ancestors regularly went through periods without food, sometimes for days at a time. If their bodies burned muscle every time they were hungry, they would have become too weak to hunt or gather food for the next meal. Humans wouldn't have survived as a species. So evolution designed our bodies to preserve muscle while burning fat during periods of food scarcity. Growth hormone is a key part of this survival mechanism. It's a gift from our ancestors that makes intermittent fasting not only safe but effective for improving body composition. Of course, this protection applies to intermittent fasting and short-term fasting. Extremely prolonged fasting lasting many days without proper nutrition or supervision can eventually lead to muscle breakdown. But for typical fasting windows of 16 to 24 hours, your muscles are well protected. Now let's discuss something that can make a real difference in your results: what you eat during your eating window and how you break your fast. During your eating window, whether you're doing 16C out OMAD or another protocol, what you choose to eat affects how efficiently your body burns fat during your next fasting period. Prioritize protein. Protein helps maintain your muscle mass and keeps you feeling full longer. Good sources include meat, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, and tofu. Aim to include protein in every meal. Include healthy fats. Fats don't spike your insulin as much as carbohydrates do, so they support the metabolic benefits of fasting. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon are excellent choices. Eat plenty of non-starchy vegetables. These are high in fiber, low in calories, and packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Think broccoli, spinach, kale, cabbage, cauliflower, peppers, and leafy greens. The fiber helps you feel satisfied and supports healthy digestion. Limit refined carbohydrates and sugar. The fewer processed carbs you eat, the less glycogen your body stores, and the faster you'll switch to fat burning during your next fast. This doesn't mean you can never eat carbohydrates. Just focus on choosing complex carbohydrates with fiber like vegetables and legumes rather than refined sugars, white bread, and processed foods. How you break your fast also matters more than many people realize. After many hours without eating, your digestive system needs time to wake up again. If you immediately eat a large, heavy meal, you might feel bloated, uncomfortable, or even nauseous. Your insulin will also spike sharply, which can undo some of the metabolic benefits you just achieved. Start gently. Water is essential, especially if you haven't been drinking enough. Bone broth or light soup can help with hydration and provide electrolytes that your body may need. Then move to easily digestible protein like eggs, fish, or chicken. Cooked vegetables are easier on your stomach than raw ones when breaking a fast. Avoid breaking your fast with sugary foods, fried foods, or heavily processed meals. These will cause your insulin to spike rapidly, potentially leading to energy crashes and increased hunger later. The goal isn't to eat perfectly or follow a rigid diet. It's to understand that what you eat influences how effective your next fasting period will be. Small improvements in your food choices can lead to significantly better results over time. Before we wrap up, let's quickly cover who should not practice intermittent fasting. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, fasting is not recommended. Your body needs consistent nutrition during these times to support yourself and your baby. If you have a history of eating disorders or currently struggle with disordered eating, fasting can trigger unhealthy patterns and should be avoided. Please seek support from a healthcare professional instead. If you have type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes requiring insulin medication, you need to work closely with your doctor before attempting any fasting protocol. Insulin and fasting must be carefully managed together to avoid dangerous blood sugar fluctuations. Children and teenagers who are still growing should not fast. Their bodies need regular nutrition for proper development. If you're significantly underweight with a BMI below 18, why fasting could be harmful and is not appropriate for you. And for everyone practicing fasting, there are warning signs that mean you should stop immediately. Severe dizziness that doesn't improve when you sit down, a racing or pounding heartbeat, confusion or difficulty thinking clearly, extreme weakness that prevents you from functioning normally, nausea or vomiting. If any of these symptoms persist for more than 30 minutes, break your fast with something gentle and consult a healthcare professional if needed. Your body is sending you an important signal, and you should listen to it. So let's bring everything together. Fat burning during intermittent fasting isn't like flipping a light switch at one specific moment. It's a gradual process. Your body transitions through stages, moving from using glucose to using glycogen to finally tapping into your fat stores. For most people, significant fat burning begins somewhere between hour 12 and hour 18 when the metabolic switch occurs. By hour 18 to 24, you're typically in full fat burning mode with ketones providing fuel and growth hormone protecting your muscles. But remember, your timeline may be different. It depends on what you ate, how active you are, and your individual metabolism. And that's okay. The key is understanding the process so you can make informed decisions about your fasting practice. Understanding this process helps you fast smarter, not just longer. You don't need to suffer through endless hours of hunger without knowing why. You need to understand what's happening inside your body so you can work with it, not against it. Intermittent fasting isn't a battle with your body. It's a partnership. Now I'm curious. What surprised you most in this video? Was it the growth hormone surge, the timeline of glycogen depletion, or something else? Let me know in one word in the comments. And here's something to think about. Some experts say 16 hours of fasting is enough for most people to get meaningful benefits. Others argue you need 24 hours or more to see real results. Based on what you just learned about the metabolic switch and fat burning timeline, where do you stand? If you know someone who has been trying intermittent fasting but feeling frustrated with their results, share this video with them. Understanding when fat burning actually starts could be the missing piece they need. And if this video helped you understand your body better, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming videos on health fasting and the science of how your body works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.